Okay. Looks good to me. Looks good to me.
Gezintahait. And the story for tonight is called A Lesson from a Young Trooper. The previous Rebbe told a story that occurred when the Tzemach Tzedek attended a rabbinical conference in Pittsburgh, the then capital of Russia, capital of Tsarist Russia. At that time, there was an army unit of a few hundred contonists. Now, in case people don't know, a contonist were 6, 7, 8-year-old boys who were forced to go into the army of the Tsar and to be in there for 20 years because the cruel Tsar wanted to take away their Jewish religion from them. So they forced them into the army. They drafted them, moved them away from their homes and from their families, and tried to make them give up being Jewish. So these cantonists were stationed That was the bad Tsar Nikolai I. And when these young Jewish soldiers were in the town of Kronstadt,
Betzalel, I remember him. He was not a nice
a
man.
bad guy. And when those young Jewish soldiers were in the town of Kronstadt, which was a suburb of Pittsburgh, it was very close. The Tzemach Tzedek was nearby because he had gone to that rabbinical conference. And they asked him to come and speak to them. These kids asked the Rebbe to come and speak to them. And by a miracle, the government permitted the Rebbe to go speak to those boys. When he got there, the young soldiers said, Rebbe, we polished our buttons in honor of your visit. Now we want you to polish and refine our souls, which have become coarsened. The Tzemach Tzedek responded by delivering a Hasidic discourse in a simple way that the boys can understand. And after saying the discourse, he instructed the boys that even though they had no Jewish books, those who remembered some Psalms of David should teach the others so that they would know them by heart. And their heartfelt Psalms would be similar to the way a soldier polishes his buttons. The Rebbe explained, like when the soldier polishes his buttons, he does it with earth and water. That's what they used to use in those days. So too, polishing the soul is done with earth and water. Earth represents words of prayer. Water represents the tears which accompany those ancient prayers. One young soldier said, when a soldier goes out to war, Rebbe, he goes happily with the victory march, not with tears. The Tzemach Tzedek said, you're right. Happiness and serving Hashem is the way to defeat the evil impulse. And from that time on, all Chabad Rebbes emphasized that our service should be infused with happiness. And in that way, our fight will take place with extra strength, our fight against the evil impulse. And our victory will occur in a faster and an easier way. I have a second story. I don't know if I should tell it or we should go on to the next one.
You know what, Betzalel, I think you might want to... Should we have a niggun and then you tell it?
Any way you like.
Okay, Leib. Okay.
We'll save the next story for the next different time. And we're going to go straight to the Chassidus. And the Chassidus tonight is not all that easy to understand. However, it does what Chassidus does best. It explains the inner level of a Jew and how it's connected to the inner level of Hashem. So try to follow it. And next time, Gimel Aleph, we'll say it over. It'll be easier to understand the second time. In the Mincha, in the afternoon prayer on Shabbos, we say to Hashem, your name is one, you are one, your name is one, and your people are one nation in the world. And the term for one is echad, which echad in Hebrew means one, but it's a one that's a combination of parts. It's a one in the counting, a one that there's a two after. And the previous Rebbe asked in a mimer, isn't Hashem alone? We should be saying, instead of you are one, we should be saying, you are Yachid, not Echad. Yachid means one alone, unique. Like an only child of Ben Yachid. There ain't no siblings. So too, when we talk to Hashem, we should emphasize that He is one alone. So why, on Mincha of Shabbos, do we call Him one Echad, a one that's a combination of parts? Especially in the afternoon prayer of Shabbos, the Mincha of Shabbos is the time of revelation of godly light. The Or Ein Sof, higher than worlds. That's the Shabbos in general. And Mincha of Shabbos manifests the essence pleasure of Hashem higher than worlds, the level of Yachid. So in this particular prayer, Mincha of Shabbos, we should be saying Hashem Yachid, Hashem is one alone, and not Hashem Echad, a combination of parts. Therefore, there must be a superiority of Echad. Like there is night and morning of the first day. It's a combination of things. There's a night and a day. But really, Hashem is Yachid, He's one alone, not Echad. There is nothing besides Hashem. He is a level of Yachid, one alone. And there is no second one that's compared to Him. But there must be a superiority of Echad, because we say it in the afternoon prayer of Shabbos, that Hashem is Echad, Hashem is a one that is included in the parts. And to explain why we say, Echad, you are one, and your name is one, is how Hashem's life is related to the creation. In the level of Yachid, He's higher and separate from creation, He's one alone. Echad indicates how Hashem's life is connected to the creation. Are you okay with this, Gimel Aleph?
Yeah, B'Tzalel.
It's not that hard, really.
So far, anyway.
But Hashem manifests infinite lights higher than the created world. He's the level of Yachid, one alone. Not Echad, but Yachid. Yachid, one alone. Hashem is out of the range of any outside existence. Also, Israel, the one people, what's called Goy Echad, is a unique nation. It's not comparable to other nations. It's like an only son to Hashem, a Ben Yachid. So why do we call it Goy Echad instead of Goy Yachid? And these are the questions that the previous Rebbe asked in his mind. Again, so why don't we say the only people, Yachid? Israel is not one nation among the other nations, but one alone, the only nation. Hashem's only child. And we see it in the fact that the source of the soul is in Hashem's essence. And there is no other existence besides Hashem and the Jews in their source. The level of Yachid, one alone. You can't even say that the Jews are prior to the world. Because prior to the world allows a concept of world. An inner source, there is only Hashem and the Jews together. So the Jews are essentially higher and separate from worlds. So why do we call them Goy Echad? Echad indicates there's a two afterwards, a combination of parts. However, the Jews do descend to the world to perfect and purify the world. And the world exists. And the Jews are connected to that existence. But the Jews are higher than the creation, but they're connected to the creation. So we can think, yeah, we could call them Echad, because they're connected to a world. Because of their descent into the world. Therefore, when the Jews are in the world, it looks like there is a significance to the other nations. They might be a 2 and a 3 to the one of the Jews, but it's connected to them. The Jews have a mission of purification of the nations and the world. And through the Jewish people, there's an elevation of the world and an elevation of the Jews themselves. So they're connected to the other nations. Therefore, they're Am Echad, one people, not Am Yachid, the only people. So we have this contradiction going back and forth. Why, in this important prayer in the afternoon in Shabbos, are the Jews called one nation instead of the only nation? How the Jews are down here, the nations are counted as secondary, but they're counted. Just like the first day of creation, there are more days afterwards, the second day and the third day. But the first day is higher than the rest. But the Maimer, the previous Rebbe, calls the Jews the only son, the Ben Yochid, not Echad. And an only son, the love of the father for the only son, and the love of the only son for the father is incomparable. Even when the Jews are in the world, this love, each for the other, is special and unique. So how can they be counted among the other nations and call them Echad, the first one? They should be called a unique nation, which they are. Not just the one nation, but the only nation, Yachid. Everything down here has a source on high. And the supernal source of love for children by parents is Hashem's love for the Jews. And the source of love of children for the parents is the love of a Jews, the essential love for Hashem. So they should be an only nation, Am Yochid. I once, to illustrate this, I once asked the question of Rabbi Tzvi, Kollel, and I may have mentioned this before, but it's very powerful. I'm going to mention it again. I asked him, why do I have such an essential love for my children? Why isn't it enough that I know they're my children and I have to take care of them? Why is it that when they cry, I jump? I have this essential love. And he stopped and thought for a second. He said, because Hashem wants you to know how he loves you. So that's this idea. There's this special connection. The Jews are the only son of Hashem. And the fact that they're the only son contradicts what we say in the afternoon prayer of Shabbos, that we're the one people. We're the unique people, not Echad, but Yachid. But the prayer does say Echad, it doesn't say Yachid.
It says Ki Hamacha Goy Echad.
Yeah, that's what it says. Echad, not Goy Yachid. That's the problem.
It says one, not the only.
Right.
What does it mean by Ki Hamacha?
Kiyam. I don't know.
Because you are the one nation.
But really, Jews and the king are alone together by themselves. And even when they're in the world, even when the Jews are in the world, they're bonded to their source and the essence of Hashem, so they should be called the only nation, not one nation. There is no room for another existence, not even angels. How much more so other nations? So we can't say that the Jews are in a comparable counting to the other nations, like they're one nation and then there's a two and a three. So really they're not Echad, they're Yachid. Like in Mincha, we say one nation Echad and not Yachid. So we still have to explain this contradiction. And we see this description of Hashem, that Hashem is Echad and not Yachid, in the famous prayer, Shema Yisrael. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one Echad, not Yachid. Echad indicates a unity of details. Like 1,000 is 1,000 units. One person is 248 limbs, a combination of units of this one thing. But Yachid, one alone, is a unity higher than any details. Hashem is one Echad. Hear, O Israel, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, not alone Yachid. So after there's a creation, and there's details, he is one in them, Echad. So we're approaching the superiority of Echad over Yachid. And in that word Echad, in Hebrew, there are three levels. There's the second letter of that word, which is a Ches, and the Ches is the eighth letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and that indicates the inclusion of 7 heavens and the earth. That's 8. And the last letter, Dalet, is the fourth letter of the alphabet, and that indicates the 4 directions. So you have the heaven and the earth and the 4 directions. And they're all nullified, included in the first letter, the Aleph, which is the first letter of the word Echad, and Aleph is the first letter of the Alephs. So you see that in this very important prayer, Hashem is manifest as Echad because there is a world which he is unified in. So we say Havai Echad, Hashem is one, not Havai is alone. But that's after the world was created. There's a lot of parts of the world, and they're all unified in Hashem Echad. And that is the superiority of Echad, a unification of parts, where Hashem is unified in those details. And to explain it better, the previous Rebbe brings in his mimer 2 metaphors. He brings, but why don't we do a niggun first before the metaphor?
Okay.
Are you following this, Gimel Aleph? Wave, is this a little bit clear?
Oh, you'll hear how clear it is now.
Okay.
Let's go.
Are you okay with it?
Yeah, that's good. Hold on just a second. but I didn't know why.
Mitzalel, how many people you know when they're tuning their guitar, it's a masterpiece already?
the songs that we sing in the afternoon of Shabbos.
Like, where you pulled that one out? Wow.
That was cool. There's two metaphors that describe this thing of the difference between Yochid and Echad. You have the metaphor of light, which is parallel to Yochid. And you have the metaphor of name, which is parallel to Echad. And each one has a superior quality over the other. Light indicates revelation. Light reveals the luminary. Name, however, does not reveal. Like the name of a person, and there could be a lot of people with the same name, and they're all different. They're not the same in intellect and emotions. Name is not a revealed thing. From light, one can know the luminary. There's a revelation. But the superiority of name, which is hidden, when you call a person by name, he himself, in his full essence, turns to the one that is calling him. Gimel Elef. See?
Wait, what? What? Oh.
And that essence, there's two things in the essence of Hashem. There's the essence itself, which is higher than the luminary, and there's the luminary. And to understand it more concretely, the luminary this is the way I understand it, take it for what it's worth, the luminary is the Ein Sof, is the infinite. And the light that reveals that luminary is the Or Ein Sof, the infinite light. So from the luminary shines the light, which reveals the luminary. From the infinite light, we know that there's an infinite
Like
one.
a ray of light from the sun.
Yeah, you know there's a sun when you see the ray. Even when you're looking straight at the sun, you're not seeing it, you're seeing the ray that's coming from it. The essence, however, is higher than the luminary, it's higher than outshine. It's higher than infinite. It's Hashem himself, which is not connected to any outflow at all. And that's what's drawn down through name. The essence of Hashem himself, higher and separate even than his quality of being infinite. And the name reveals the one who's called by the name. Like we said, when you call one by the name, he himself turns. The source of light is the luminary, and the source of name is the essence itself, higher than the luminary. What we just explained is a huge, big thing. That usually Hashem is called the infinite. However, infinite is only an attribute of Hashem, but he has much more than that.
It's like infinity is like something that Hashem keeps in the hip pocket of his Calvins.
No, it's revealed from the infinite light. It's not in the hip pocket.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
But,
it's
right,
like it's
it's
not
an
a major
out-
thing.
It's an outshine. It's some kind of an attributional thing.
Ladies.
But name calls down the essence of Hashem himself, separate from revelation and outshine, which will finally be revealed. The real superiority of the name is only when it has the quality of light, when there's a revelation of the one who turns. Just by saying, oh, his name is that's not a big deal. But calling him by the name and having him turn, that's a big deal in the revelation. And that happens through the creation, through the manifestation of Echad. Echad in itself is a big deal. All of the parts of the creation work together as one, because that's what Hashem wants. But there's a bigger deal in Echad when he is revealed in that creation. The nullification of Echad in Hashem is not like the nullification of Yochid. They're both nullified to godliness, but they're different. The nullification of Echad, how it is in itself, how it is one in the creation, the worlds exist, but they're nullified to Hashem as a secondary characteristic that they have. I exist, and I'm nullified to Hashem. It's added to me. It's not yet, Hashem is not yet revealed in those creations. The superiority of name is when worlds that are brought into being through the Tzimtzum, through Hashem hiding his attribute of infinity. Those worlds have in them a revelation of infinite light from before the contraction, from before the Tzimtzum. And even though there's a revelation of infinite light, they are not nullified out of existence. And that is the superiority of Echad. There's a revelation of Hashem in his infinite quality, in limited creations, and they're not nullified out of existence. It says that Hashem travels 500 years to acquire a name. What on earth is that? How is Hashem go 500 years? He's at every place. He doesn't have to travel to get someplace. But acquiring a name means the name will be revealed like light is revealed. And that name becomes revealed and draws down the essence of Hashem. And that's the superiority of name, which is parallel to Echad, but revealed like light in separate worlds, Echad. Mincha of Shabbos, the afternoon prayer of Shabbos, expresses Hashem's oneness as you are one, and your name is one, and your people is one, rather than Yochi, because of the superiority of Echad, that Hashem can reveal himself, can reveal his essence in the creations. Where Yochi, there can't be any creations. It's one alone. But Hashem wants to be revealed, and how he is revealed? When we call his name. When Hashem hides himself to allow worlds to exist, then the essence can be drawn down into the world and revealed through his name being called. And how is his name called? Through Israel, the one people, through their Torah and mitzvahs. And when the Jews do the Torah and mitzvahs, Hashem himself turns and reveals himself. Then the infinite light shines in the details of the worlds in a revealed way, drawing into name the essence of Hashem himself. Like when one calls a person by name, the person himself turns to the one who called him. And we can see this. The previous Rebbe once said, I don't think I shared this on the show yet. If I did, it's also a powerful thing that could be repeated. The previous Rebbe said that a chassid who's a chacham, a chassid who's wise, has a private meeting with his Rebbe every year called the Yechidus. And how does he accomplish it? The previous Rebbe was going to jail and he was telling his Chassidim how they could get together with him once a year, every year. He said that it's accomplished through imaging yourself standing in front of the Rebbe. Take a picture of the Rebbe, get what he looks like, and then image yourself standing in front of him. And the previous Rebbe said, you might think it's only an imagination. But it's not. He said, if a bad thought takes you to a bad place, how much more so a good thought takes you to a good place. And he said, you might think that you have to be on a high level of service to be able to accomplish this thing. And he said, no, and this is where it connects to what we're learning. When a little kid calls the king by name, the king turns to him. The kid doesn't have to be on a high level of service. He just calls the king by name and he turns. Same too, when we image ourselves standing in front of the Rebbe himself turns to us. And this mimer by the previous Rebbe we've been quoting was a mimer he said on the 9th of Kislev. And then he said another mimer connected to it the next day on the 10th of Kislev. And he expanded on the role of the Jews in causing this revelation. Should we have a niggun or?
Yeah. We should have a show anything.
Flip open the book
Which one?
with the page with the saber tassel is.
Which one?
Where the tassel is.
You.
It should be in the spot last time.
Where the ribbon is, you mean?
The ribbon.
By the name color?
Yeah.
Nipple tassels.
There should be a side of this on the page, right?
No.
We
But,
just did that.
but interestingly, the place that I opened up to with no tassel was a side weirdly.
Is it
But
white?
it's solid, you understand this? He didn't put a tassel here, and I opened the book and it's sitting on the side of the side. He said, where's the tassel?
Ribbon.
It says that the Jews make the name holy. That's what we said, by calling that one by name, he comes into the name. So like he's holy, he is holy, and his name is holy. Because the expression, Mekadesh Hashem, they make the name, they draw down into his name his essential holiness. You are holy, and your name is holy. And how is that? Like we said, through the Torah and mitzvahs of the Jews. Like one is called by name, he himself turns into one who calls. And the connection of the beginning of the prayer, you are one, to the end of the prayer, your name is holy, where the beginning of the prayer says, the Jews are one, the one nation, Goy Echad, is what draws down to bring about the revelation. You are holy and your name is holy, in the way of revelation, by drawing down the essence of Hashem. And just as he is essentially holy, so too his name is revealed to be holy by the one people on the earth, through the Torah and mitzvah. But, the previous Rebbe says, it's accomplished through giving away the soul through Mesiras Nefesh for Hashem's holiness. And that also draws down Atah Kodesh, you're holy, into your name is holy. You are holy and your name is holy. And to reach you are holy is a level of higher than hidden and revealed altogether. We said name is hidden and light is revelation. And you are holy is higher than both. It's necessary to employ the power of self-nullification, and giving oneself away, Mesiras Nefesh, is absolute self-nullification. And this is why Mesiras Nefesh is called Kiddush Hashem. It makes the name holy. Isn't that a cool thing?
That's amazing.
Never saw that before. The name is made holy through the Jews' Torah mitzvahs or through Mesiras Nefesh. It leaves the question. The previous Rebbe first said it's through the Jews doing Torah mitzvahs, and now he says it's through giving away the soul, Mesiras Nefesh. Our Rebbe comes up with the answer. Tanya says that the existence of Torah and mitzvahs is by always keeping in mind Mesiras Nefesh to Hashem. When Hashem's essence is revealed through your name, the revelation is Yechida, one alone, will be revealed in every level of the soul, Echad, like the revelation of Yachid in Echad, through Mesiras Nefesh, through having in mind Mesiras Nefesh causes additional growth in Torah and mitzvahs. And the revelation of name, you're holy and your name is holy, is not just in general then, but in all the particular levels of every creature, including a revelation down here in the lowest physical world of Hashem. We'll all know what causes our existence in the very lowest physical world, and all flesh will see that Hashem is what brings us into existence, not just with eyes of flesh, but the actual flesh will see godliness through this, making the name holy. Do you want Mashiach now? You want to end with the niggun or
Bitzalel, I have a question.
a question?
It's a little bit of a... You know what?
It's
Wait,
good.
how about a niggun first?
No, keep the...
Yeah,
Bitzalel,
continue, yeah.
it's a little bit of a complicated question.
Oh,
Because, you know, I read in the Torah, the other Rebbe, and you know, he talks, and I want to understand is this what the connection is, because you know it says, on this day, Hashem Hashem will be one, and His name will be one.
yeah, I always
And
want to get that.
our sages they ask, wait a second, is it? And now His name is not one, and His name is one. And the answer, well, you know, now it's spelled Yud K Vav K, but we read it different. We read it with Shem Adnai, yeah. But when Mashiach comes, we will read it as it is written. Is this connected to this? I told you it's a complicated
No,
question.
it's not so complicated, and Mr. there is a connection. And myself, I never understood, just because we're going to read the name like it's written, how does that mean that he's going to be one and his name will be one at that time? I guess that's the answer. That's the answer. That's the answer. By reading it as it's written, he'll turn around.
No, and the Rebbe, he explains it as such.
Did you hear what I just said first?
Yeah. I heard.
Okay, very
But,
good.
and
Did you hear?
Yeah, I think the Rebbe explains it like this because he says that now, because it's Al Bishamayim Kadros, I will enclose the makifin, the surrounding lights in darkness, and that's why meaning it has to be with our hiddenness, and that's why we read it this way. But when Mashiach comes, it'll be that it comes straight down from this and this. That's why we'll read it as the same way.
I hear what you're bringing out, Gimel Aleph, and it sounds like it connects to this. Because when we call Hashem by His name like it's written, He Himself is going to turn to us.
Instead of just the clothing.
What did you say, Sonny? No, it's going to
instead of the clothing turning to us, He's going to turn to us.
Something like that.
B'tzalel, I like it. Like Barnigin. If you need a minute to think.
No, I've already thought of it. Go ahead.
Leib. Leib is going heavy on the Rebbe today, baby. I like it. B'tzalel, this Leib.
Do it, Leib.
Something.
Like ringing a bell.
Yeah.
Like ringing a bell, that boy.
Hey, Moshe. I love you, Moshe. Oh. Bitzalel. I don't know if Rebbe knows it. That was a masterpiece, was it not?
Rebbe, you're ringing the bell.
Nice.
Okay, what's the G?
Ready? Remember, kids, Gezintahait.
That's right! Oh,